I'd like to welcome you to Trainworld City. It's the 24th of May. It's Memorial Day weekend here in Cloquet, Minnesota. This is basically part two of a two-day shoot. The weather has been nice, accommodating enough for me to actually get 2 days in here, which is incredibly rare. But it's starting to get a few sprinkles and a couple drops here and there. So it's time to pack it in. I figured I'd get a video here. This is downtown Trainworld City. The White House you see in front of you is actually referred to as the first Oracle. And the Capitol is referred to as the Great Oracle. And the little white buildings you see on either side of the statue in the middle, those are the oracles. And the difference is the oracles are basically like the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, the Department of this and that. So the oracles are the departments. And the one that's at the very far end was just newly constructed. I did it coming off duty. That is the Hall of Justice, modeled after the, no kidding, the superheroes thing or the Super Friends thing. So there's a few changes this year. There's City Hall, there's the Fire Hall, the police station and jail and things. There's a couple things that haven't changed. The building that's over here is actually, this building still exists, and Walthers offers it. I can't remember what they call it, the Family Hardware or something. In West Duluth, it's known as the Chromoline Building, or Iconics now. And the building still exists, so it's kind of neat to at least be able to drive by it and get some references. Here's the Hall of Justice, which is still unfinished. It's very, very, very raw. It's just basically all of styrene. You can see if you look close enough at some of the fronts of the buildings, they say Oracle of Science and things like that. That's a statue of a teddy bear, which is the Primus, the president, basically. It's been a fun weekend shooting. Like I said, there's been some new buildings. The Hams Brewery is open. This area of town, these last two streets down here, have been the focus of some attention. We've been trying to get some things done because it was barren last season and we ran out of time. We weren't able to finish that. So by the high school and the school area itself, we've added some things here. This area here where the football field is, at Robert Boyott High School, this will actually become a stadium itself. I've got some styrene and stuff ordered, so this will eventually become a real stadium. Now, as of right now, it's just a field, and I've got some telephone poles that look like lights. They've got white nodules on them, so they look like stadium lights. For this year, we moved the Volkovan Sausage Company across the street from where it was, and McQuiston Power Station. And what we did was we took and we put the new cement plant here, the Trainworld Universal Cement Company. So the power station is part, well, it will be, when it's all done, will be part of the cement plant. And the victim was Volkovan Sausage, which really didn't move that far at all. It went across the street. Railton Yard itself has been, it's been improved a little bit. The turns aren't quite as sharp. Learned a lot from last year. Even though this is a static layout, we try to make things as real as we can within the realm of time and things like that, and realism, given the weather. But we try to straighten a few things out. We got rid of a few things. We'll kind of take you around the tree, and we'll head back towards the steel plant. And the steel plant itself too is not really changed this year. Where these construction trucks are right now is a Walthers blast furnace is going to go in here, and that's why the construction trucks are there. Is that the furnace is going to be built there, and then kind of on the left towards the existing furnace, there's going to be where the stoves for the existing furnace are going to go there. And eventually the steel plant will have two working furnaces that will be identified because they will look very different from each other. This is kind of the hot side. There's the blast furnace and the coke plant. And some of the coal facilities here. Being set in 1953, open hearth technology was still it's kind of in its waning days, in its heyday, but it was the technology of the day. I haven't been able to put some weights in the bottom of the smokestacks yet, so you see some nuts and bolts sitting on top right now. So that's why that's what's holding those smokestacks up. And down here is a pig caster. This entire steel mill was modeled after the Duluth plant of the Trainworld City Steel Works. So I mean, it was modeled after a real plant, and fairly close. The really only big difference is that Duluth didn't have, despite being a big lake port, didn't have any facilities for lake carriers. And at one time they were considering doing it, but it would have cost them a ton of money, and so they never did. But had they have done it, it would have looked something similar to this. Duluth had a huge ore yard. It was massive. It was about 3 times bigger than what most conventional integrated mills had. And the reason why is they had to store a lot of coal and limestone and things in the winter that they couldn't get during the winter. They would get iron ore and everything, of course, from the underground mines up the Iron Range. But everything else they had to store there over the winter while the plant operated. So the materials yard was just massive. Ask forgiveness, a lot of this isn't done. You can see the open hearth is just kind of standing alone. The roof is sagging. I bought it secondhand at a garage sale, and I have had horrible problems trying to get that roof to work out. It's just been a pain. And there should be a charging ramp I haven't quite built yet. Same thing with the coke plant. You see there's some pipes down there. It's just PVC pipe. Eventually there'll be some smokestacks there. So what you're seeing, I mean, a lot of it is just works in progress, even though it looks to the casual observer that it's done. It really isn't done. Nothing is ever done in the model railroaders world. These are the rolling mills. They are fairly accurate for size and placement of where they would have been at Duluth. And this little thing here in the middle, that 5-stack thing, that's another boiler house that'll eventually fuel and power the second blast furnace. And that's what that's there for. So this is the parking lot. That's where all the employees for the rail yard and the steel mill sit before they go to work. I added these lines here at the lower bottom center. These lines feed the cement plant here. And eventually these 2 cranes that you see will be replaced by one scratch-built crane, something I wanted to do, and I haven't done it, but I had these sitting around. I figure they can fill in for now. And this other rail line that's got the crane on it that's sitting there at the right, I'm still trying to figure out eventually if that's going to turn left and go down this area and kind of connect to a fake highway and a fake railway as it's going to like another town. But it's sitting there right now. And this whole area here itself will become the neighborhood. This end of this hill. And that'll be pretty much the end of Trainworld. That's kind of how it'll be. Is this sandy area here at the end will be the neighborhood. There'll be put some houses there, and the 2 streets you see on either side of the city will continue down and then kind of loop like they do on the other side. And that will be the end of it. So this is kind of an overview of the city today. Added a couple buildings, like I said, on that last section. We've added a lot of stuff there to kind of fill that in. Everything forward of that, most of it's remained the same. We've moved a few buildings to make way for these skyscrapers. I think there's 2 or 3 more. Same thing with these ones down here in the lower center. We moved a few things to make way, but from last season to this season, very little has changed. So, I am your humble narrator. I'm Sammy Maida. I'm the creator of Trainworld City, Republic of Trainworld, and wish you guys a happy Memorial Day and all the best.